Question 8. Cassie rolls a fair number cube with 6 faces labeled 1 through 6. She rolls the number cube 300 times. What fun. Which result is most likely? So this number cube thing, that's just a dice, right? She rolls, a die or, one dice. Okay, so we need a rule. We need a rule. The rule is target outcomes divided by possible outcomes equals probability. Or probability is a fraction of target outcomes divided by possible outcomes, or the ratio, if you will. Anyway, this might not make any sense to you right now. I get that. The first time I read this, I don't think it made any sense to me. But let's do the problem and see if we can figure out what is going on. So, question A and B, or answers A and B, say Cassie will roll 1 or 2 about 50 times, and Cassie will roll a 1 or a 2 exactly 50 times. So here, the target outcomes is rolling a 1 or a 2. The target outcomes is rolling in 1 or a 2, and the possible outcomes, there's 6 of them, right? Every time you roll that die, you can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So there's 6 possible outcomes. There's only 2 target outcomes, or only 2 favorable outcomes, only 2 outcomes that you're looking for. So target outcomes divided by possible outcomes, or potential outcomes, 2 divided by 6, that's your probability. That's your probability. You can get a 1 or a 2. That's your target, or and divided by your possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 out of 6. That's your probability. 2 out of 6 equals 1/3. No shock there. And if you have a third probability or a third chance of getting a target outcome or getting a 1 or a 2, and you roll that die 300 times, well, that's just 1/3 times 300, or 300 divided by 3, or 100. You can expect to get 100 target outcomes or favorable outcomes, or 100 1s or 2s if you roll that die 300 times. Now, it says about 50 and exactly 50. Both of those are wrong. We know that 100 is what it's going to be. It's going to be 100. But is it going to be exactly 100 or around 100, about 100? Let's think about that. Would that be exactly 100? Well, probably not. It's probably not going to be exactly 100 because we're dealing with probability, and probability or chance isn't exact. If it's exact, it'd be exact. It's not exact. Its probability is chance, is only chance. So let's do 3 and 4, C and D. C. Cassie will roll an even number about 150 times, and Cassie will roll an even number exactly 150 times. Again, target outcomes, 2 possible outcomes. Target outcomes, 3, right? There's 3 target outcomes. You can get an even 2, an even 4, an even 6, and there's 6 possible outcomes. So target outcomes to possible outcomes. 3 divided by 6 is 1/2, no shock there. 1/2 times 300 is 300 by 2. 300 divided by 2 is 150. Okay. So 150 is our answer, but what does that mean? 150, there's a probable, it's probable that she'll roll 150 even numbers if she rolls that die 300 times. Is it exact? Like I said before, it's not exact. It's not exact. Probability is not about what's exactly right. It's about what can be predicted. So about 150 times, or C is your answer, and we're good.